Tonya, you fly through the walls, being carried by 2 flies through wall after wall after wall after wall, leaving your party as you finally are in an open space. You look around, and you can tell that this is a torture chamber. There are devices for peeling, cutting, and slicing.
Tenderizing.
All around.
Hate that.
As the 2 things carrying you rush you forward, they plonk you down in a sort of metal seat that moves back, and all of a sudden, metal beams wrap around your body, holding you in place.
Oh, on my soft, squishy flesh.
On your tomato flesh. You sit there for what feels like an eternity, but it's really only a couple seconds as the flies sort of fly away, melding into the walls. After a few seconds, a door from somewhere behind you opens, and you see 3 figures walk past your chair. They're all wearing some sort of burlap. You can read as one passes you, it says coffee. They're all wearing some coffee bags around them to conceal their form as these 3 forms glide into the room. The last one is pulling a large platform. On the platform, there is a giant cardboard image of a flamenco dancer with fruit atop her head. Underneath her it says, Chiquita. And as the image rolls in, it turns around to face you. And a voice from behind Chiquita says, Tonya. It's so nice to finally meet you in person. How are you doing?
Please. I've been doing everything I can. I mean, listen. I'm fine. How's Sabrina?
Oh, the squash. The squash is all right. And she'll continue to be if you continue to follow directions.
Right, yeah, so you've not really given me very specific instructions on what you want me to do here.
We had to make sure that you were on board. It seems like you are, having joined this group, and so now we're prepared to give you your tasks. Are you ready?
Can you promise me one thing?
I'm not sure, Tonya.
I need some assurance along the way. I need to know that Sabrina is safe.
By safe, what do you mean?
Alive. Breathe in, mate.
Oh, she's alive. But, I can't guarantee that she will be perfectly ripe. The faster you get this done, the faster you see your love. Now, I have some questions. I need you to tell me everything you know about this party of fruit. What are their weaknesses? What are their strengths? Who do they know? What do they like? Any information you have, I need it.
Well, right, okay, so I can tell you this much. There's someone there, I don't think she's supposed to be. I don't know why she's there. She's a princess, so she calls herself. Never seen anything like her, actually, to be frank. soda can, maybe. Aluminum. She comes from what do you call it? Carbonation.
Right, carbonation.
Princess Pamplemousse. She's there with us. I don't know why. And her bodyguard. Her ogre. Grapefruit thing.
What does she want, do you think?
She's selling skincare products. I don't know, mate. I don't know. But it's fishy. It nearly killed the pepperoni.
Interesting.
Oh yeah, there's some underground ring sends people back and forth.
Oh, I am aware of the two meat brothers.
Yeah. Okay. Seem like pretty nice folks for the most part.
Now, anything else?
The southern one that we're with, what's her name? Rita? Raspberry. She's a raspberry.
Raspberry.
Yes, she's a raspberry. And she's dating some olive. I don't know, Jessica, maybe? Jenna?
Tonya.
Sorry, mate.
This means nothing to me.
That's all I have. They're a bunch of imbeciles, I tell ya. They don't know anything.
First strip. And you see one of the burlapped figures walk over to Chiquita, this big cardboard painting of a flamenco dancer. And from underneath the burlap, he pulls out what seems to be a strip of vegetable. A noodle, almost. I'm hungry. And, your love was so kind to provide me with this food. Give me the squash noodle.
No. Serena. Please, whatever you need,
You
please.
see the burlapped figure lower this noodle into the side of the cardboard box. Yum, 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 yum. That is not the last squash noodle that I'm hankering for.
Please. What else would you need, mate? Please.
If you don't have information, I need you to do something physical for me. Can you do that?
What is it?
From underneath the cardboard box, you see a bowl shoot out. In it, writhing maggots topple over each other. I need you to find a way, when you're back with this party, to give them each a friendly hug. When you do, these maggots will crawl into them, infecting them. Now, of course, this won't work for the silver one, so I need you to do something else. I need you to pull aside the silver one for a personal conversation. Convince her that she's not in any danger and she needs to leave this party. The less help the party has, the better. And if she's not a fruit, she needs to get out. You can tell her that you found some information, whatever you need to do to convince her that she's not in danger and that she doesn't need to help the party. Do it. As for the fruit, put a maggot in each of them. Copy?
Promise me you'll keep her safe. Please.
I promise. Now, Tonya, make sure you keep a keener eye out for what these fruit are about, so you can report it back to us. We will be expecting a fuller report next time. And one last piece of advice. It seems like they're making their way to Leftover Oklahoma. Now, in Leftover Oklahoma, there's an old saloon. Underneath the bar of the old saloon, there's a big red button. If you press it, or if someone else presses it, it'll make the party's life much harder.
Right.
So, if you can convince them to press the big red button underneath the bar of the saloon, or you can press it yourself, that would be greatly appreciated. And we'd take it into consideration with how we treat your little squash. There's one last thing we need to know. Your friends or foes, they are currently dealing with some of our little henchmen. I would love to know, who do you think is the weakest?
The weakest, physically.
Yes. Who can we get out quickly?
Right, so I don't know a lot about them all yet. I mean, believe it or not. But, I don't know, there's something about that little squirrely girl, little cowgirl, you know?
The raspberry.
Yeah, right, the raspberry. I don't know much about her. Don't know much about her story. Otherwise, you're dealing with a big old grapefruit. He looks intimidating. That sodakin, don't know much about her. She's large. And then you got this fruit Yorker. I don't know much about him, but I wouldn't mess with him either. So, your best bet's the raspberry, sorry.
Very good to know, Tonya. You know, you're more useful than I first thought you were. Now, any other questions, Tonya?
Please let me go now.
Goodbye, Tonya. And you see, as you're laying there, you see these figures. And as the cardboard's wheeled off. And for a moment, there's silence. As you are unlatched from this machine. A bowl of maggots sits in front of you, the only remaining thing from this conversation.
Right, so I'm going to put that bowl of maggots. Can I put it in my little apple? Does it fit in there?
Yes. You make an investigation check.
Investigation is 18.
18. With an 18, you discover a side of the apple that has a latch, and by turning it just slightly, you open the apple. When you do that, something falls out. There's a sort of glow in the middle of the apple. But all of a sudden, poof, a tile pops out. I'm gonna need you to open one of those tiles. Pick whichever one comes up. H. Tonya, as you open this apple, putting these maggots inside and closing it back up, you start looking around. This torture chamber suddenly grows extremely hot, scalding. You feel your skin, your tomato skin, shriveling almost into a cherry tomato. You start to shrivel up in this heat. And on the other side of the room, there is still an open door.
On my way.
You dash out of this burning heat that the room has started to feel, and you start running out, the door closing. The heat is gone, and you are faced with a long hallway.
What's in the hallway?
it goes on farther than you can even see. In the distance, there's sort of fog at the end of the hallway.
It's mostly empty, though.
What?
It's empty.
Empty. Just 2 walls leading you forward.
Onwards, then.
Tonya the Tomato presses on, walking into the fog. And we'll pick it up there when you rejoin the party. Thank you all so much for watching Tonya's special adventure. Please do not spoil anything for the rest of the party, because they're sure in for a surprise when they discover what's up with Tonya the Tomato.
Tonya. Hashtag. Oh, I don't have a hashtag for Tonya yet, but next
Hashtag
week.
tomato.
Hashtag tomato. Rotten tomato.
All right. We love you all. We'll see you next time. Yeah. Insane.